somebody, Eric, why don't you read the Acts of Faith, and then we're gonna let Herman kind of just talk with us about his journey and what he got going on. And that cake is for you, and some ice cream in the back. We're gonna have that a little later, because we just want to welcome you home, man. I'm so excited to see you, brother. Go ahead, Eric.
December 3rd, Acts of Faith. People with $10 million are no happier than people with $9 million. That's Hobart Brown.
Okay.
You or I do not want to be rich and have a diseased body.
Yeah.
I do not want to have good health, abundant wealth, and poor relationships.
Right.
I want to have all of the good. I want to enjoy every aspect of life abundantly.
Yeah.
I want it from expected and unexpected sources.
Yes.
I want to have more.
Yeah.
Give more and get more.
You're right.
In order to do it, I must think abundantly.
Oh, I love that.
Speak abundantly. Do everything in an abundant way.
Yes.
Rest well, dress well, eat well, and act right.
Ooh, that's good.
I cannot achieve abundance with ugly thoughts, ugly words, or ugly deeds.
Yeah.
Right.
Abundance is a direct reflection of my preparation to live abundantly.
Right.
Yeah.
People who are abundant do not worry about what others are doing.
That's right.
People who expect abundance do not make themselves content to live in lack.
Yeah.
People who are ready for abundance keeps their heads up, their eyes open, and give thanks for everything.
Ooh, that's a good word. That's a good word right there. Wow.
I want it all abundantly prosper in me now.
Yes. Wow, that's a good word. That's a good word. Who got something on that?
I do.
I'm gonna hold you and go to DeAndre. Go ahead.
Abundantly.
Yeah.
I find as I get older, I don't see wealth as material things and gain, but I see it as gaining knowledge, man, gaining healthy relationships. Being more humane in life.
Yeah.
I find that to be abundantly
What's up, bro?
abundantly free.
Read that.
I care more about people than I do things now.
That's
which is a beautiful thing in my living abundantly, having an abundant of years up under my belt now.
Come on.
So it's just hey, I enjoy getting older. I enjoy life. Hey, and I try to enjoy it all in a good balance, abundantly.
All right. Well, listen to Big Bang. I love that. That's good. Go ahead, Eric.
This is really funny about this abundant, about speaking abundance,
Yep.
thinking abundance,
Yep.
living abundance, just walking in it.
Yep.
My wife told me, because I would be like, I count every penny. I'm trying to be frugal with my money. I got bills. I got a mortgage now. Insurance, all these bills. And she tells me time and time again, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Because if you think like you don't got no money, you ain't going to have nothing. So when I read the Acts of Faith every day, by the way. And lately it's been talking about prospering, abundance, a lot of positive stuff that's been hitting me right in the head.
Wow.
And now, even today,
yes,
I'm like, you know what? Everything is good.
Yeah.
So why? I can't even think the thoughts of lack.
Right.
I can't do it no more.
Right.
Because it actually affects me in a way that then I'm acting like I can't have.
Yes, right. That's right.
You get what I mean? And I can actually have whatever I want.
Right.
But I just be mindful about how I make a purchase and all of that kind of stuff.
That's good.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I went online probably for the first time ever and bought 2 pair of boots.
My man.
I liked them.
Yeah.
I wanted them, but I wasn't going to get them. So I'm talking to my wife. I liked them. She said, buy.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, nah, I got the money for it. So I'm like, nah. So I just went ahead and bought them, and I told her later, I bought them. I bought them boots, 2 pairs. She was like,
Right.
She said, you get in that truck
Right.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
You work hard, long hours, every day.
Right.
You make sure me and mom are good, but you never treat yourself.
Ooh.
I said, my treat is making sure you're good. She go, no.
That's
no,
right.
You work hard, you deserve to get what you want.
Yeah.
And with this being said, and other things like it,
it's revealing.
I'm starting to go, okay. I don't mean go buck wild.
Yeah.
It felt good.
Yeah. Give some love right there.
I'm learning still.
You learning still.
Still learning and getting a job.
And
after 10 years, not 8 years of being out of prison.
Right.
Still learning. I'm still trying to maintain.
Right.
Still mindful of what I do, who I'm with, what I'm thinking. Just everything. And come in the group.
Yeah.
Say this. You told me this is what got me here today.
Right.
He said, people that come to the courtroom don't go back to prison.
Right. Yeah. That's right. That's it. That's Eric. Eric, a free man in Washington. But I'm going to show you something with what you're saying. And I have to deal with this. I still do. But when I first got out of what? Whatever you was in. Right? I got out of that.
Right.
When I first got out, see the dog that was chasing me, I could still hear the dog. You know, a pit, ferocious type dog. And, you know, if I felt like I was slacking, I felt like the dog was going to reach out and grab me and pull me back in there, you know, in such a way. And so I would break from whatever that was, you know, leave the area, discontinue the conversation, or get real frugal or whatever, something like this here, some activity. What it took me a long time to learn, and hopefully it's going to help you tonight. As I continue to walk in the good life, and some of that stuff was falling off of me, but I couldn't really tell it was off because I wouldn't slow down long enough to you get it because I think the dog is there. Yeah. But what happened though? Look, the dog has never stopped chasing me, but it's a littler dog now.
Right. Chihuahua kind.
It's a littler dog. Right. You know, it's a little dog, and it ain't you know all that intimidating. You know, and it takes my commands. This other dog here, he didn't. You couldn't.
Right.
And see, now you are moving into a place where the dog is still there,
Right.
but he just ain't that same old pit bull that he used to be. I don't hear nobody in this church. If we didn't do nothing else all night and only got that piece, it would be worth you coming. Because for all of us who have been in something else, the dog exists. And I'm going to show you something else. For those people who never really had any of these kinds of experiences, they don't appreciate the dog or see it. And their behavior demonstrates they just don't give a. And you'll find out that some of us who have been through some things become more morally correct than those individuals who have never been bitten by the real dog. I don't hear nobody in this church.
That's right.
Isaac, go ahead.
For me, abundance is blessings. Blessings. And since I walked out that door from prison, that's all I've been receiving is blessings. And I mean, I've had my share of trials and I go through trials. But at the end of the day, I know where my strength comes from. That comes from God. And I know that as long as I keep God first, I will continue to keep my blessings. Now for me, this will start the first thing this morning. For me this morning, I usually wake up at 4:50 in the morning. And because I'm on the east side and I take these buses, I get there like 15 minutes early for work.
Right.
Today I got up because I overslept because we might always go through some things today to be dealt with here and there. I overslept. I slept until 6. That's how God was. I already did what I had to do, got out the house, got to the corner. I knew that my bus was not coming. My bus was not coming anytime soon. So I walked from Earl to Arcade because I know there's 3 buses that are going to come from Arcade. And I was going to catch one of them.
Yeah.
That would kind of make up some time.
Sure.
Anyway, when the bus came, I was going to get on the green line, but I was like, no, I'm going to wait for my 21, and I only have to walk 4 blocks instead of 8 blocks. It just made sense to me math-wise. Lo and behold, when I got off the bus, that 21 was coming in 6 minutes. I got to work like 20 minutes late.
Wow.
After I called my boss. Because I'm always on time and I'm always extra and I always work as soon as I get there.
Yeah.
He didn't care, but that wasn't the point. I had the responsibility of being there on time because that's what I'm getting paid.
Ooh, that's so good. Wait a minute, give him some dap right there. So somebody in this room need to hear that.
Some people, like boss came to me and said, Isaac, something happened with the city. They're not funding right now, so I wasn't able to get the $50 an hour like I usually get. So I could have been moping about it. I could have not came to work the next day. I could have had attitude the whole 9. I didn't. I was thankful for number 1 because I had a job. My boss told me, he said, I'm still going to give you 2 hours a day. So I'm still making $100 a day. Plus, he already told me, he said, if I do, and this is only because we're ahead of work. We're ahead of work because a lot of things came back to me in the carpentry field that I thought I forgot. As I was getting busy, things just start coming back. So I'm knocking stuff out. So anyway, we got way ahead of the plumbers and electricians. So now we have to wait for the plumbers and electricians to catch up. So that kind of like puts us on hold for a minute because we can't finish.
Right.
So anyway, I said, yeah, I'll do that. I said, and I'll do some volunteer work too. So I could stay because I didn't want to be home and I didn't want to take on a second job and have 2 jobs. So I just stayed put. So my boss, he comes to me, he says, look, he said, I know that you're doing the $100 a day thing. He said, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make up for them days. I'm just going to give you a bonus. I'm giving you a bonus check because of you doing the volunteer work day. So I'm still going to get blessed with basically the same money.
Wow.
Just going to be later on.
Wow. Come on.
That's right.
That's good that you see that as a blessing. And, because you had been excited about the 50 and, but, the 20 is still 20. You get it? And that beats the 35 cent.
Prison.
I don't hear nobody.
Better believe it.
In the
25 cent.
Wait, look, you said I upped it a dime, but and that's good, Isaac. That's a good story, and I'm glad you shared it. Wow, for a lot of reasons. Go ahead, Cheney.
So, first of all, I feel really good to be here today.
That's good. That's right. All right.
Been a good week.
Yeah. You look good.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Out in a very fresh lineup. It's a second time trying it. It's all good.
She did good. Yeah.
I'm not completely, she's not a barber.
Right.
And it's free.
All right, there you go.
Right?
Come on, church.
$25 for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel good. I was just going to share about what I talked about it, but if it's okay.
No, fine. That's fine. Yeah.
I know this year my company, the Pops Group, got a grant. Really good grant that makes me happy to be part of Pops. I know the money has been doing a great job for the folks that needed it. So last week or week before that?
Last week.
So I went up to my boss' office and I talked to Sam. I'm like, is it possible that we can reapply for that grant again?
Yeah.
Because I think the grant is making really good impact on the guys that need it. So is there any way we can reapply for the grant? He said, why not?
Right.
You can receive it 2 times a year.
Mhm.
After two years in a row, you just have to wait for 2 more years to reapply again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
Wow.
we're going to do that.
I hear you.
So
I hear you.
he's okay. Let's get going and get everything today when I got to work. At 8:30 this morning, I was at my desk. Called me and said, hey, come in my office, like talk. And he's talking to me and the region director, who is Mike Link, who oversees Minnesota, Wisconsin, South Dakota, North Dakota, and part of Iowa.
Wow.
So he talked about how that Sam talking about how the Gren is doing such a great job for the folks out here. And
Absolutely.
we are only about 6 or 8 guys in this team. And 2 of us, 3 of us, Sam is like half brown skin guy, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's me and this girl who is brown skin too, but she's gay.
Uh-huh.
We the only 2 that working
Hey, son.
to have our
Oh,
brand
man.
reflect
Yeah.
what we do and what we are passionate about. Pretty much every grant, I don't know, my company is Granger. I work for
much
Granger.
drama. Go
Go
ahead. Go ahead.
So I work for Granger
Go ahead.
as a sales account representative, and he's been doing a great job at it. But at the same time, I wanted to have a discussion about like what the guys think about. I know me and Pop says it's a great idea, let's do it, but
Mhm.
I don't want to do something, or I don't want to talk myself to agree something
Mhm.
if the guys are not like 100% behind it,
Mhm.
you know. So I want to make sure that I'm not just doing it because I want to do it, but I want to make sure I'm doing it and I have a backing from Pop and
The rest of the file.
rest of the selling for I
Well,
just decided.
well, let me jump in there because some of y'all don't know what he's talking about, but Granger give us, I think, when was that about? 5 months ago, 4 months? Yeah, about 5 months ago, 4 or 5. They gave us a grant for $2,500, and what we using that money for is just uh, miscellaneous cash. So we got guys who need to get to work. You need to get your license. You need to pay a ticket. You know, all of that stuff. And we've had the luxury of having that money available, to help meet the need, bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so a couple people have, even without being asked, have paid that money back so that somebody else could get it. You know what I mean? And so it was really been a big help to us to be able to have something on hand, this and that. So that's what he's talking about. And for if there's anybody in here who's had to come in the office and get some money, you know how important it was to leave out of here and have something in your pocket. So that's what it was. So, and we can talk. I'm gonna come back to it toward the end because I want to stay with this reading right here for right now, Chinny.
Okay.
This whole notion of abundance. Say abundance.
Abundance.
Yeah, that grant in some ways fit into that whole idea of abundance in a way. And so I see where you was coming from because it made it a lot easier for me. We have always done this, but not because of that grant. We always have done this. But Pop has just been taking that out of our own money. We didn't have no slush fund or nobody giving like that. So it took a lot of pressure off, the organization, my wife and I in the organization, to have a gift that we could rely on. But this whole notion of abundance, I want to just get us back into the depth of it, and then we'll come back, Chinny, toward the end and hit on people's thoughts about the going back for the grant again. It says in here, you want more, then give more and get more. In order to do it, you must think, say think,
Think.
abundantly. Remember the 8 steps of the good life? The second step is thinking.
Thank you.
See, y'all forgot. Y'all forgot because too slow, you fail. Right. You know, because you don't realize, Timothy, them 8 steps, if you learn them in your heart, they will provide you a way in or a way out of every single solitary thing that you could possibly get yourself into or out of. That's how important it is. What's the first step in the 8 step of the good life?
Words.
Hmm. Y'all say it so soft.
Words.
Say it again.
Words.
Say it again.
Words.
One more time.
Words.
Yeah, your words. Calvin came to me, just now he was sharing some doctor stuff with me. Um, and he's worried. And his words were the words of worry. Calvin had sometimes forget that you have to speak life over your own self
Yes, sir.
to cause what the doctor is saying to line up with what you are saying about Calvin. What do you say?
For me,
What do you say? I just want you to listen and think about it. That's rhetorical. But you use the words of health. I want my health. Say that.
I want my health. I love my health.
That's
I
right.
want my health.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want
yeah.
to get my health in order.
I beg pardon?
I
What?
said I want to get my health in order so
Right.
I can line up
Yeah.
with what the man up there doing for me. I
Yeah.
don't claim it, but I got to go through it.
Woo.
My thing is that this should pass.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can't do.
Yeah, give him some love right there because he's going through some medical. See what that is a word of life and a word of abundance. So anyway, I could keep on there, but I'm gonna stop. Somebody else jump in.
I want to go. I want to go. The reason I want to go because I've been having a lot of abundance in my life
Come on.
since I've been out.
Uh-huh.
And by me being out this time,
Mm-hmm.
I see more than I had before.
Hmm.
And the abundance come by me just being able to come back to group, being able to give back. And y'all know I've been home since 17.
Hmm.
I've never been home that long.
Wow.
But I thank God because He's using me.
Hmm.
Even though when y'all don't see me, there's
Hmm.
other stuff that's going on
Mm-hmm.
that's changing my life.
Hmm.
I'm getting better at understanding that don't nobody owe me. I
Right.
used to always think somebody owed me. I run out here trying to have something. If I can't get it, then I should get it from the next person. No, it's about Calvin learning how to take care of Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing that. As y'all know, I've been having some good little blessings. I had cars. I still got my truck. I got a house that I can go home to and call mine. So God is just showing me my abundance
Wow.
is paying off.
Wow, that's beautiful.
As long as I stay out, I can get more.
Right.
And once I start going to the old Calvin,
That's
no
right.
Ice Mike.
Right.
Because Calvin is the new person.
Okay.
I used to use Ice Mike because I thought I was somebody. And I wasn't nobody.
Mm.
But this Calvin guy, it's like, just like old Calvin, where he died at.
Mm.
That name means something to me.
Right.
So today I use that as, okay, Calvin, somebody died for your sins. Somebody, you got to let go. You can't go on thinking that you ain't nobody when you're somebody today.
Come on. Give him some love right there. That was good. Just put that out there so somebody else can answer.
Well, everybody.
Just set it out there with.
Okay,
for
well,
me.
can I finish doing
Can you-
tier?
Yeah, just set it out there in the middle. Go ahead, son.
All right. I've been noticing my abundance, but I really noticed it like when Pops told me because I told him all the good things that was going on with me, and about me starting a new job. Because actually, they just called me and said I'm going to work again tomorrow.
Give him a hand for that.
That not even a day later, the next morning, things start just. I look like it was just crumbling down. I'm getting put on my place. And I'm scheduled so I can go leave town so I can do all this good stuff, and everything just looked like it just went bad for me. And I didn't. I usually panic and just lose it. It's just the way things went because I was supposed to be trying to go one place. I get on the wrong bus. I get on the bus going the opposite direction. And I say, "Oh, I'm on the wrong bus." I pull the thing and I get out right in front of the government place where the people that I was been talking to that told them that I didn't have my paperwork done. So I happen to go. I go in there and it found out my paperwork was in. They found it in there.
Hmm.
So and I already, I done called some everybody, like all my brothers and everything. I'm like, let them know I'm going through this right now. I didn't panic, so that was a good thing. And I have faith. I believe that, I'm on this path. I'm not gonna fall off of it.
Hmm.
So I got that taken care of, and just so happened I had a doctor's appointment I had to reschedule because I went to the wrong place then. He's like, "Well, I had two people cancel. You still have time. Come in."
Hmm.
So everything just falling into place where it's supposed to be,
Wow.
and that abundance is just show throughout the whole day for me.
Wow.
And that was just wonderful because plus I was on the phone. My lady friend, she said, that's God's way. He's showing you how you put run your day like that. So that's big abundance to me.
Give him a little love for that. That's big for you, man, because, I was about to give you some feedback about not showing up for work yesterday just because you didn't have no assignment, this and that. You're supposed to go back to the old assignment and be waiting around for somebody to call you. Go to the job you had. They're the ones that hooked you up. Is that right or wrong?
But I went there when he told me he was gonna call by 10. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. He didn't call. I went to work.
Good. Good. Good job. Give him a little love for that. He needs it. Jay, we haven't heard from you. And, it's good to see your face, by the way.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. What you got?
I cannot achieve abundance with ugly thoughts, ugly words, or ugly deeds.
Hmm.
I think back in my life, and I think back about all the darkness that I've lived through, and all the difficult times and stress.
Wow.
And those were the exact things that I was doing. I was having ugly thoughts, ugly words, worrying about other people, and doing ugly deeds. I was not living a healthy life.
Wow.
I think now how things are going with my life, having those positive thoughts, the I can do attitude, the positive attitude, helping others, and that's just the abundance flows back into your own life as you help others.
That's true, man.
Others help you.
That's good, and you've been doing a good job of that, brother. Yeah, give him some love right there. Yeah. Jay has been doing a lot of stuff, man. Give us a report on some of the stuff you got yourself into.
All right, so outside of my main line of work, which is manufacturing, I do a lot of volunteer work, and one of them is with the mental health organization. We're trying to bring resources to greater areas of Minnesota. I am part of their cultural community and diversity advisory board. So we're trying to expand that into the diverse populations, bring in more resources to ethnic communities, forgotten communities. I also do a lot of public speaking with Prison Fellowship Ministries. So we do a lot of outreach. I go out and share how mentoring has worked in my life, how God has been a blessing in my life, and having that faith.
Right.
And just above all, hope. Because without hope, you're nowhere. You're dead inside.
Ooh, brother.
So
listen to Jay. Give him some love. Jay, man, when I catch you sometimes. You'll just appear on Facebook and doing some tremendous stuff, and man, it just touches me, man.
Yeah.
The leadership qualities that you guys are showing all around it's pretty amazing. Don't stop, don't get tired, and remember that analogy I just said with Eric. The dog chasing you is not the same one as before.
No.
You can't overreact to it. I'm gonna give it to Dr. Herman Curry, who was here tonight to talk a little bit about this reading or himself and kind of catch us up on what's going on with you. Go ahead. Give him a hand, by the way. So we're just gonna stop by and pay for it. That's what you need to order. Go ahead, son.
First and foremost, I'm not my offense, Never was my offense. I didn't understand my power. And then step into this personal power tell. a few years ago. I've been knowing Pops for a long time, but I wore a mask for so long that I didn't even know who I was. So I had to start running and face reality, and I stepped into my personal power.
Yeah, that is.
And today I was reminded that I'm not my offense. I got out yesterday,
Right,
hit the halfway house at 10 o'clock,
right.
and the first thought that was on my mind was to call Pop.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what it was. I just wanted to let him know I was home.
Yeah, right.
Because the first thing he told me is, when you come home, son, I got you.
Yeah.
And I love it about him, you know. And excuse me, when I came home and I met with my agent today, she assured me that I wasn't my offense. She talked to me as a human being today.
Right.
And she told me she wanted to do everything to, help me to better my last 40-some days on parole.
Right.
And move on with my life.
Right.
And the beautiful thing about it was, even though I understand that I'm the help that I'm waiting on, there's nothing wrong with leaning on your brother sometimes.
That's right.
And Pops gave me a brother that I only knew for 4 hours.
Right.
And love this brother like he my brother.
Yeah, sir.
And that's T that was just sitting here.
Yeah, right.
I've been with T all day today.
Right.
T took me and got me clothes. T took me to help me get a job. T took me, back to the place. He secured, what I was worried about. And when he left and he pulled off, I knew how powerful the power people was.
Yeah.
I knew how many lives that the Pop guys could touch.
Right.
And then that just the moment it touched me.
Right.
So that was my prospering. That was my abundance.
Yeah.
That was my multiplying with my brothers.
Right.
That was my adding with my brothers. And even though that I only been out a day, I got my whole life ahead of me. I'm 37.
Right.
And I ain't even reached my full potential yet.
Right.
And, I used to be scared to reach that level because I didn't understand how powerful I was.
Yeah.
But I ain't scared to reach that level. I know I'm powerful.
Right.
I am powerful.
Yeah.
So it's okay for me to reach that level. And I'm on a journey there right now.
Man, come on. Yeah, I like that.
I thank all you brothers. I mean, sister. I don't know you. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. I'm here every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing gonna stop me from being here.
I got you.
I got a brother. He gonna be here next.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just how it's gonna be. And
Wow.
I just want to say thank you.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. And I got love for you, Herman. I wanted to make sure you knew we wasn't playing. We ain't playing, man. And we've been consistent. If we haven't been anything else, we have been consistent. And as Eric just got through sharing with you, I met you in Rush, but I met Eric in Lino Lakes many years ago, and Eric used to say, I thought Pop was crazy. I kept coming down just to see what how crazy he was going to talk to the next. but all these years later, man, we done swole up, man. We tiny right now, but man, look, this is a big old group. And I told you when I left you in Lino, because every class could have always been the last one. You get it? It's just how the game is played there. But I told you then, like I'm telling you now, if you stay here, then this oil is going to get smeared all over you. And the oil is good, right? And you don't have to believe my face, but everybody around this table done got smeared on with some of that anointing. Yeah. And so the walls in this room just conduct a spirit that we've created over the many years. And it feels so good when we're in here, just hanging out with each other, breaking bread. We can reflect on where we was yesterday like you did so eloquently, but we also have to keep our eyes on where we are going. As soon as you do that, it changes the size of the dog.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't eliminate him, but it changes his bark and his bite. I just want y'all to hear that. I just want y'all to hear that. We have been, Has anybody got anything real good they want to share tonight? Good news. Tim, you got any good news? What's the good news?
Well, I got a new place and I'm starting to furnish it, and I applied for the bridging program, and so I'm waiting to get the furniture from there. I
Wow.
also got a credit card from the bank, so
Look at Tim done got a credit card. Give me. Wait a minute, wait. Let's stop right there. Wait a minute. Somebody done gave Tim a credit card. Give him another hand for that. Go ahead.
Well, the thing is that
Hey, son.
I like really what this said here. A good life, abundant wealth. But the thing is that if you have a good health and an abundant wealth, but you have poor relationships, you don't have an abundant life. If you have every aspect. I remember the book, the story Dead Poet Society, and he wanted to have people live the life to the fullest. And when I was on bail, when I got a job, I actually enjoyed my job, and they wanted me to stay. They said even after I was going to prison, they said, "Are you sure you can't work that week?"
Right.
Because when you enjoy your job and enjoy what you're doing, then because that's when you're living an abundant life. It's not so much having more money, it's understanding, and I like what it said here, giving thanks for everything you get.
Wow.
Right now I'm living in a different place, and I was, the old house I had a shower with a tub. This shower has a regular shower, and I was giving thanks for the regular shower.
Yeah, amen. That's right.
Just the fact that every little thing now means so much
Wow.
more when you've been without it.
Wow, that's
And
good.
so, it's like I think of a little kid, how a little kid, they're living an abundant life because everything's new and everything. They think the whole world's at their command.
Wow.
We lost some of that I lost some of that when I got older, and I want to find that again. To be just embrace life again. I'm doing that more and more, and I'm working on it. But I like what it says here.
Tim, that's good, man. That's good. Give him another hand, man. And so the new place you're still in the same geographical location?
Yeah, 787 Blair.
Okay, all right. And where was you at before?
I was at 92 Magnolia.
Okay, all right. And this is
I'm moving west.
This is upward mobility, right? Step up.
Yeah, I have a big room for myself.
That's good. That's good, man. I'm so
10 by
happy.
15.
I'm happy for you, man. Congratulations. And you just look like, you got some joy. I feel that coming off you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's beautiful. I remember y'all when Tim was in Faribault, he used to be so worried. He was so worried. He worried about everything. And so, would make him look, he would always be, pop, he just want to talk to me about everything. And I couldn't, I said, son, just calm down. It's going to be all right. Right. And then here's worried about everything, telling me that it's going to be all right. Mm-hmm. That's called.
I worry too much.
That's called.
I'm working on that too.
Yeah, we're gonna pray for you. Give him another hand. That's Tim right there. Duval, what you got, son? Mm-hmm.
Oh man, abundantly, I'm just like a brother like this, worried and stressed. I was glad to see my brother today, man. I'm telling y'all, he was nervous, filling out an application. I just, he's like, hey, I don't know, I've been gone, I don't know, but just seeing him, man, and the smile he had, I was just like, wow.
Right.
Because when you see people and then you don't see them, the whole relationship just go away. But when I seen him, that relationship just stuck there and went there. Right. And I told him it's gonna be all right. We got you.
Yeah.
If he got to send 100 people there,
wow.
He gonna send 100 people there.
Wow. That's beautiful.
You wanna know something? When I got back to the halfway house, I ain't even basking, the day that I've been out. I've been out a day.
Right.
It ain't really set in.
That's right.
It ain't really hit me yet.
That's right.
But I went upstairs, went in my room and I just cried, right?
Wow.
Because it was a powerful moment for me.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to share this. I don't want to get too much in. I just want to share this.
Come on, Doc.
I was molested by my 3 older sisters, right? From 5 to 16, excuse me. And I didn't have no relationship with none of them, I didn't talk to my family. I don't have no family, things like that. But I worked on, when I completed treatment in Lionel, I just completed treatment and everything. So I worked on some of the relationship. And when I got to the halfway house and they came to see me and I hugged them, it didn't matter what happened in our life, man.
Yeah.
The only thing that was matter was just being able to build from that moment on.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't learn none of that stuff if it wasn't for Power of People.
Wow.
And then I came here not only because this is where I belong, but also Pop said he gonna throw me a party.
Yeah, that's right. I ain't lying. Yeah, you worth it, man. You worth it, brother. That's beautiful. Well, I tell you what, man. We got. Let me just give you a couple quick things about. He's at Ashland House. I don't know if anybody in here else been in Ashland House or any of the designated Department of Correction halfway houses. They mean well. Their intentions aren't bad ones. But one of the things that happens, right, for those people who think of themselves as developers, well, they just develop housing. Say housing.
Housing.
And so then they open up the housing to ex-offenders. Say ex-offenders.
Ex-offenders.
Well, see, without training, say training.
Training.
Without training ex-offenders before you get them into any kind of housing is really recreating a penitentiary-like scenario. I'm gonna wait for all the amens to die down. And so what happens in that, I'm just sharing some stuff from being around a while. You'll find you got a set of guys. They still don't completely get it. So they trying to break every rule and trying to be slick. They want to smoke and they want to do some things. You got some people they want to smuggle. Some people have tried to smuggle a chicken wing in the halfway house. All of these different things. And the idea is really this individual putting on a demonstration for these other guys that says, see what I can do. When really and truly, that's the individual with low self-esteem. Mm-hmm. Who can't figure it out, who's not prepared to stand yet on his own 2 feet, and that is in some ways is allowing the dog from yesterday, say the dog from yesterday, to keep that great big bark that he used to have. Right. So Ashland is no exception. When you come there, just like we talked about before you left, you on your square, you're only there for a visit. Some people are in Ashland House are never going to get to the street. They're going right back. I hate to say it, but they're going right back from Ashland House. Lord, yeah. See, so you got to divide up that set. You got your knife is sharp. You piercing through all of that mess and keep it moving. Then you shine in on whoever is prepared to receive your shine. Because your responsibility is to raise them up wherever you are if you know that person's an adder or potentially could be a multiplier down the line. But for subtractors and dividers, don't waste your time. Your time is valuable. Don't waste it on them. We'll catch them another time. Y'all, wait a minute. The Godfather of Soul is here. James Brown. Give him a hand. Give a brother a hand. There's brother Curtis Harris right there. Hey, man. We ain't seen Curtis. Look at him. Look at him. You done cut your beard a little bit. I see that.
Yeah. I was rolling to Christmas and then I'll play Santa Claus all day.
Get Curtis. Do you want some chicken?
Of course.
Get Curtis. Right here. Oh, you got it right here? It's coming right to you. We're gonna come to you and throw the ball to you in a minute as soon as you catch on to what we talking about.
Right.
This is what we've been thinking about. Tyron is here. Now he had an interview today and this and that. That's great. Why don't you check in and let us know how you're doing?
All right. You all right?
Good.
would be 2 months.
Praise
I had a couple hiccups.
Uh-huh.
So last time I lost my housing, but I'm in Carson homes now.
Mm-hmm.
Not the ideal for me, but God got me right
Right.
where He needs me to be.
I got you.
I do have a job, carpenter's assistant, learning, how to build houses and fix up on houses.
Right.
However, I need more hours, so I plugged in with a temp service. They got a warehouse position, starting anywhere between 17 and 21. Driving a truck. It's a engineering company. It manufactures manifolds and parts for cars.
Okay. You came home with your license.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Well, no, I had to get my license now.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Before I got out, but I was right on it.
Yeah.
That's what good support do for me. It's important to have good support. You know what I mean? So I put my bid in.
Yeah.
I asked for 19.
Yeah.
With my experience. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. There's a couple other candidates.
Yeah.
So they'll get back at me. And in the meantime, I'm picking up like 2 12-hour shifts Thursday and Friday.
Hey, give him some that. That's good, man. He said, the brother, he texted me, he said, Pop, what time does chicken serve?
Yeah, I missed this last time.
And I said,
I be having a long drive.
no, I get you. I said, no, this time, I get it. And I held back a bag just in case he showed up. I'm going to tell you something. We're going to get bigger now. So I want y'all to slide back toward the wall. Just slide your chair back. Just keep sliding down. Yeah, there you go. Just keep sliding down. We're going to be all right in a minute. Mm-hmm.
Come on, sister. I know you don't want to leave.
We'll slide on down. There you go. That's right. That's right. Slide on down. And then she did who did not? What's up, son?
Hey, how you doing?
Ananias, did you get in on the reading? Abundant.
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, what you got? Curtis, you just slide up to the
I
top.
read and I reread it.
Come on.
And I said, I do not want to be rich and have a diseased body. I do not want to have good health, abundant wealth, and poor relationships. I want to have all the good.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy every aspect
Everything.
of life abundantly.
Right.
I want to have more.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Chef. I want it from expected and unexpected.
Yes, yes.
I want to have more, give more, and get more. And in order to do it, I must think abundantly.
Yeah.
Speak abundantly.
Yeah.
Do everything in an abundant way.
Right.
Dress well.
Yeah.
Dress well.
Yeah.
Eat well and act right.
Eat well and do what?
Act right.
Eat well and do what?
Act right.
Somebody say that with her.
Act right.
Say it again.
Act right.
One more time.
Act right.
Yeah, I love that right there.
I cannot achieve abundance with ugly thoughts.
Let me have that. Let me have that.
Or ugly deeds. Abundance is a direct reflection of my preparations to live abundance.
That's right.
People who are abundant do not worry about what others are doing. People who expect abundance do not make themselves content to live in life. People who are ready for abundance keep their heads up, their eyes open, and give thanks for everything they get. I want it all abundantly prospering me now.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
That's good. That's good.
I just had to read that.
I like the way you read it, man. It seemed like something came back alive. Hey, Kimbrough pulled out a jug from his coat, man. It looked like I'm getting ready to say, boy, what is you pulling out of there? So somebody in the back now, we haven't heard from you. You see the reading, hey young man. You see the reading. Let me hear from you back there.
Well,
say your name, son.
Solomon.
Yeah. Solomon is late. Give him a hand. He's so late. I don't want to hear the story about why he's so late.
But I'm here.
But he's just late. Give him another hand. He's late. Okay, go ahead.
What sticks out to me is the diseased body. And what comes to mind is the diseased mind. If you can have all the wealth in the world and be the most awful thinking person on the planet, I had a taste of that years ago.
of being one of the most awful thinking people on the planet.
Mm. My Lord.
And it was poison. I mean, I couldn't keep people around me. People didn't want to be around that. But I had a little bit of money. I don't have but a little bit of money, but my mind is no longer diseased. I don't think angrily or devious towards others. And to me, it makes me feel like I'm rich. You know, and I like that. And I do try to dress well.
All right. All right.
That's what I got out of it.
That's good. That's good. Wow, that's good. Kimbrough, what you got? Sis, I come right to you.
Well, the word abundantly sticks out to me, and it says that you have to.
I have to.
That I have to act abundantly, think abundantly, to have abundance. And it speaks loud to me because you have to train yourself to do that. I have to train myself to do that. In order to act abundant, I got to be obedient, and doing that, I have to do everything in abundance. So to have a abundance, a good relationship, and wealth in every aspect of my life, I have to think, and not only think abundant, I have to be abundant.
Yeah.
That's what sticks out to me.
That's good. Give Kimbrough some love. Just Kimbrough is trying to move into the pop house, and then his PO, he haven't called me back today. I called him again, Tony
Ozori.
Yeah, and so tomorrow you're gonna have to give him a call in the morning and see what's going on.
All right, I will.
And then I work on it from my side. I send him an email that kind of lays out, our history and everything like this here, the same as I did for your agent. What's her name? Yeah, so she already had all of that. But so we working on this thing. Just stay with it. All right.
Sure will.
Hey.
Thank you.
Doug, is that Doug Fresh? Doug Fresh is in here. He late, Doug, but give him a hand. He told me he was going to be late. Watch this. Kimbrough, I like how you rolling. I'm going to tell you, though, this is love. Can I say this with love?
Yes.
I have, I'm like this, a little bit concerned. I'm going to say it out loud. Just with Sal, excuse me, watch this. Just a little bit concerned about him, that impulsiveness. We talked about impulsiveness, but sometimes we speak about something and then think, okay, we settled that. But the truth of the matter is, it's so deep, right? Still water, say still water.
Still water.
Run deep.
Run deep.
Oh, this boy went to the 4 Tops. Y'all don't even know about that. Watch this. Whatever you find, if I don't. No, I'm just thinking. Okay, watch this. I just want you to know what we could be doing. That's right. But Sal right here, he's just been a little bit impulsive. This ain't no mean-spirited thing. This is love. And I just want you to be conscious of that impulsive nature that's trying to find a place in your spirit. We talked before you got here about the dogs chasing. I talked about that. When I got out of the world, I felt like there was a big dog after me. And if I didn't keep going and not turn back, it could pounce on me and have me again. And I might not never be able to get out. And so for a long time, I just stayed so one-track minded. All the people that thought they knew me I aggravated them to the nth degree. They cussed me out and talked about me like a dog because I didn't pay them no attention. Because any one of them could have let the dog that's chasing me back in my house, and I was afraid. I'm just telling you the truth. I was afraid because I knew I was in so deep. I was one of them brothers that say, "Hey, that boy ain't gonna never get himself together." Shane he gone, girl, he gone. My mom and them was like, I don't know, he gone. Right? And I mean, I had to, I knew what they thought. And I didn't even care. Because I was, yeah, I can't hear you. Gone. So I don't want you to think I'm just chasing money. Chasing money. That's how you chase money.
Yes, sir.
Chasing money. What you see it? Wait, where's it at? Chasing money. Huh? And all you get out of that, all I got, was the chase. I got a little taste here and there, but what I really got addicted to was the chase.
Yeah.
And look what I'm trying to tell you. When he himself cracked open a new door for me to slip in, I slip in that door, slam that door right behind me, slam. And that door was right there, right at the door, saying, I dare you, so and so. And man, it was some years before I even started being cordial with people I used to mess with. I didn't say nothing. I left them alone, period, like they wasn't there. You could say that wasn't the right strategy or this or that, but that's the one that worked for me, and that's what's got you sitting here now.
Oh, praise God.
Now watch what I'm gonna tell you. So we've had this conversation privately, but I'm having it with you publicly because I want you to really hear. If you would just take your time, this whole thing is going to open up so beautifully for you. You will be amazed. Even a year from now, you will be sitting right in this room saying, I never thought it could be like this for me. But you can't catch up to anything that you've lost. It's gone. You're not trying to catch up to yesterday. You're trying to make sure you don't miss out on tomorrow. And those are two different theologies. You got to be mindful here and allow yourself to be mentored through. Nobody in here knows everything. But we got to be able to mentor each other through the little Strait of Magellan, that little needle. Look, we're trying to get you through there. And look, we done got them through. There's evidence in your face that what we're talking about works. What you being in such a hurry for? And I want you to be his sounding board. We need each other in here.
Pops.
Go ahead. Go.
I remember when I first got out and I had some troubles, that dog was chasing me. I turned around. I thought I could play with it. I thought I could make it my friend. You know what I mean? I had some troubles, like I said. You know what I mean? Hey, brothers. One thing that you told me that had always stuck with me is you said, you think so fast. You got to let your head catch up with your heart, catch up with your body, to catch up with your dreams, to catch up with your goals, to catch up who you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And so with that, I never lost sight of what you said in that time. That time was a crucial time in my life.
Yeah.
I went back for 2 weeks, for playing around in my past and not trying to secure my future.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Temptation is a real thing. You go to prison, it's a lonely thing. You know what I mean? You're trying to catch up to any missed feeling that you left behind. You know what I mean? But the truth is that only leads to one place. You know what I'm saying? To your past, not to your future. To my future.
Right.
Because I've made it over that hump in my life, you know, and I'm living in success and I'm thriving. You know what I mean? And no, I don't have $1 million. I work at a job that pays $15 an hour. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful for that.
That's right. That's right.
I'm volunteering. I'm a part of communities that I love and believe in and belong to nowadays. You know what I mean? And so, you know, dedicating that time, we always say time is the real money. You know what I'm saying? Once I started investing my time into something that I truly believe in, the universe is mirroring that to me and investing in me as well. And so now my value, you know, just keeps on going up, which makes it harder for me to look back.
Wow, wow, man, that's good, brother. That's good. Yeah. First, say your name. Tell everybody.
My name is Tashira. But what I took from this is what he did, the diseased body. And it makes me think about the what profits a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul. That's the first thing that popped into my mind. And I think about there's been when my son's father was alive. I think about where when we didn't have much of nothing when I was pregnant with my son, and we were the happiest. And when he started getting a little money and doing good, and I did too, that's when it seems like things started to fall apart. And so I just think about the fact of remember that money and the things of this world is only temporary. We're going to leave this stuff. So what is abundant to you beyond money, beyond profit? Your family, people you love, things that just make you happy outside of money. And so the diseased body, my brother, he knew someone, he worked with a guy and he had so much money, but he walked around with a black coat on and his head down all day. This guy he did security for. So like you did chasing money and stuff like that, you went in a circle. But all I can think about every day is that stuff is so temporary. And when I leave this world one day and go to heaven, hopefully, I'll leave all of that stuff. But my soul is what's most important. The people that I love and that I want to see again in heaven is what's most important. So just I play that quote in my mind: "What profits a man to gain the world and lose his soul? What good is the money if you have lost yourself? What good is the profit or everything that you gain if you don't know who you are as a woman or as a man?" There is no profit there.
That's right.
The profit is knowing who you are as a man and your character, and just knowing who you are. That's all.
That's good. And so this is your son, man.
Yeah, that's
and
my
why
son.
don't you introduce him to the group?
Okay. This is my 13-year-old son, Justin.
Hey, brother.
And I'm actually glad that you told me to introduce him because I got to shoot out to another meeting. I got to run. But I wanted to, I don't know if I wanted to let you guys know. I'm going to try to make this short. But Justin's father was killed by the St. Paul police in 2009. He was beat and thrown in a dumpster behind the Midway after he ran from the St. Paul police. I have been fighting for 10 years, and my fight, I got harassed and everything by the police, and like it has been a very scary journey for me, because like my life has literally been in danger too when you're fighting up against the police. However, my fight has caught the attention of the Attorney General, Keith Ellison.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told Keith that I thought that it would be beneficial to the community to have something called a listening session, where everybody from the community comes out and talks about how they feel about the murders committed by police in the community. And so his secretary contacted me about a week ago and said, Tashira, we're going to do that listening session that you thought of. And so, but what we want you to do is reach out to people in the community and get them there. We're going to reach out to people on our side to get the people in the political seats. Example, city council members from Minneapolis and St. Paul and different legislators. We're going to get those people there, and we need people from the community to come out and say maybe if it's happened in their family, or just voice how you guys feel about and how it's impacting us and it's been mostly our minority men. There has been 400 murders at the hands of the police here in Minnesota. That's reported murders of minority men at the hands of police since the year 2000. And I know 2 families myself that have not reported. So imagine how many more are out there. So that's the reason for this gathering. To me, it is very important that these stories get out because they have been very strategic at keeping these stories under the rug. And that's how they have been able to continue to brutalize our community and specifically our minority men. So
when is it?
It is this upcoming Thursday, and it starts at 6:00. It is at the let me give you guys the address real quick. Yep. Hold on. Let me give you guys the address. Sorry.
So while you're looking for it, then
Here it is.
and then on the way to your next meeting, give the address to Wayne over here.
Okay.
And then he'll email it all out to everybody.
It's the Sabathani Community Center, 310 East 38th Street,
6 o'clock on Thursday.
Yep, 6:00 to 8:00 this upcoming Thursday. So if any of you guys want to attend,
give us some love. So real fast though, I'd like to hear from your son. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, bro. Yeah, my man. And so you're in what grade? You playing ball? What you do? No, don't answer, Mom. That's all right. That's all right. So, what do you do for fun?
I like that.
Like to act? Come on, y'all hear what he's saying?
we definitely like to do that.
Mom said you're acting up. No, I said, you know, you have some brother. I think you got some potential. I don't know all of what it is, but I'm glad that you are in the presence of these men and women here. That we done been through something that we don't really want you to ever have to go through, and because of that, we are supporting education and being sincere about doing you in a legal way, right? Strategically gaining your education that can never be taken away from you. Right. So we don't want you to have the experience we've had, but we do want you to know we exist and we're still some bad boys. Right. Even though, right? We're on the strength. Somebody say on the strength. On the strength. So let's give Justin some love right here. Go ahead.
I want to say to you that your fight is just, and you got God on your side. Do not give up. Do not quit. There's something in you that's driving you. You've been fighting this fight for 10 years. If you ain't stopped in 5, you're going. And the victory is going to come. You already got the victory. You probably don't know it yet, but you got the victory. All you have to do is walk through the motions and keep going. I want to tell you that.
Well, that's a good word. That's a good word.
My fight is knowing what they're doing. So I have sat in rooms. I make it my business to get to know the families because when they murdered Justin, it was 10 years ago. So when I would tell people my story, it was almost unheard of. People will say, "What? The police? No." You know what I mean? So there was no Black Lives Matter when Justin was murdered. There was none of these coalitions that's now. So that's why I felt very alone. And I had to just live with this, with the police sitting outside my home, following me. I had my baby at the time, waving at me, doing all those kind of things. When I came out the store, they would be sitting right behind my car and just follow me, things like that, to keep me quiet. So for a few years, I was quiet because I was 23 years old at the time. And I was afraid for my own life because Justin was in the garbage, and what would they have thought of my life? You know, so I make it my business to be there for the mothers. It's rare that there's a significant other in the fight. Typically, it's a mother or a sister. But me and Jamar Clark's sister, one day about a year ago, we just sat in a car and just cried together. And I make it my business to be there with the families because I know how it feels to be alone. But my fight, it like boils up in me every time I'm sitting in the car with somebody, or I've seen that woman that I brought last week or the week before last. Her son was shot 52 times by the St. Paul police. And so just hearing her cry, that is what, and just knowing I believe in the power of prayer more than I believe in anything in this world. And that's why I want to tell you guys to keep praying and keep going no matter what. No matter what this world shows you, no matter how many times you fall, as long as you got breath in your body, you still can get back up.
Amen.
As long as you got blood flowing through your veins, you can still get back up. So do not let this world discourage you and take you down and take you under. You have choices that you can do out of your pain. So I could have chose in my pain to let it get me depressed, to let me get me down and stop the fight. But I let this pain motivate me. That is what's pushing me. The pain that I feel in my heart from my child not having his father, knowing that he died in a dumpster in a garbage can. And they didn't throw him in the river, they didn't throw him in the woods, they threw him in the trash. That's something for us as Black people, or minority people, to think about. So that is what's pushing me, and prayer and having faith in God is what's pushing me.
Amen.
Well, now, did you ever connect with Wayne or about the TV show stuff?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So y'all got a date.
We're working on
So,
everything.
okay, good. And maybe you want to include the other sister, you know.
Yep.
So,
I'm working on that.
All right, sweetheart.
I give her.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you again. All right, brother. You gone?
Yep, I'm gone.
All right, Justin.
I'll be back like next
Look,
week.
you don't want to go. Look. You know you're in the right spot. Yeah. All right, brother.
See you later. Bye.
See ya. Wow.
That was powerful.
Yeah, it was. Wow. Go ahead, sir.
So when I read this reading, there's a couple things I just want to provide an update of that has triggered some thoughts for me. And it says you want to enjoy every aspect of life abundantly. You want it from expected and unexpected sources. You want to have it more, give more, and get more. So recently, I had my PO meeting who said, Brad, you're once again ahead of the game. So I put in a special dispensation for you. And starting now, you're going to go on low risk supervision. I won't be seeing you anymore.
Wow.
Number one. The second thing.
Wait, that deserves some stuff.
The second thing that occurred is there's an organization called Upward, which partners with guys coming out of the DOC. My executive is working for them, and he's asked me to become a life advocate for them and work with them, an unexpected source.
Wow.
Third thing is sometimes living abundantly means you have to deal with the dog. So today, I made a choice and met with the financial people and made a choice to eliminate the dog of the financial burden that I have over me, and I'm filing personal bankruptcy.
That's good. Boy, that was powerful what he just said. Because if the dog was the money dog in a pit, it's still trying to get you. And you know, bankruptcy in some cases is a positive move to help you clean up yesterday and give you the opportunity to have a fresh start. Somebody say a fresh start.
Fresh start.
And Bradley, I'm excited about what your PO shared with you. I'm not Surprised that's what pop guys get when they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So keep doing what you're doing. Don't get tired of doing good. I just hope you heard that.
You tired of doing good.
Yeah. The scripture says
It happened.
don't get tired in your well doing. Right? So somebody else jump in who haven't gone. Go ahead, Isaac. Go ahead, son. And then let's I'm sorry, and then let's also reflect on a little bit on what this sister was talking about.
That is.
Okay, go ahead.
We need more people like that. People that's really ready to say enough is enough. We need people who just not care about others, but we have to think about our children today. And when we don't speak up and have a voice, and our children see this, that fear factor is instilled with them because that's what they see from their parents. But we as men and women, we can't just think about ourselves. God tells us not to fear nobody but Him, because He is on our side. As long as we're doing what's right, out our back, we're going to get blessed for it. We need to talk about what's going on. Because if we don't talk about what's going on and come together, then we're going to get the same thing the Native Americans got in this country. They're going to slowly but surely wipe us out. So we have to not only use our voice, we have to protect our children. We have to do what they can't do because they're not adults. They're children. And they're scared. They're scared to death. That's why they do half of the crazy stuff that they do, because they don't care, because they don't see no future, because of the fear factor. The same people that are to protect us are harming us. We have good and bad and everything. We know that. We know all police ain't bad. I'm not even that stupid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But the ones that are doing the harm, it needs to be addressed and they need to be getting rid of. And they need to be in jail.
Oh, that's good. And that, especially from you saying it, I think that's a whole another deal. So I appreciate you there. That go ahead.
Every time I hear that, man, I get very upset about that, because I think when I look at the image of our young men, they're first of all, let me say this, and I don't want to really judge me on this. It's just that the media and technology is a powerful thing. If you don't pay attention and stay conscious of what's going on, sometimes I hear shoes on TV. I change the channel because I become so desensitized.
That's right.
About schools that shut up, about people that look like us getting killed, and things of this nature. And I get caught up in where I come from and what I was taught. I was taught to love. And I was taught to believe in a higher power. But I was also taught to be selfish. And I was also taught to be knocked in the head and all kind of things. And when I see my young brothers, I almost be like I'd be like one of them people on there, man, because of the way they behave. Man, they got this thing, man. It's adrenaline. It's popping. Ain't nothing serious. Right. I can listen to the people talking seriously, but if it ain't got no kind of gun popping in that, something just to keep it just to glorify this foolish guy that we have out there, because it's a big thing.
Right.
The media on our young brothers, they have a media masculinity. It's not they worship things. They don't care nothing about no people. They don't care nothing about no respect. But they still, brother, we still don't deserve death. Like death is coming to us like this. I mean, it's coming rapidly and it's coming almost
every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know, man, and I be I don't know, I be concerned because I don't know, I become like my grandfather. I want to control it. I want, man, you know, we sitting up here and y'all, but all these people, y'all N-wording me and y'all just y'all N-wording them, and you know what I'm saying? Y'all doing this and y'all don't
don't get it.
Don't get this, man.
Right.
Man, it's sad, man. We got to be conscious from our generation, from our point of view. We got to be conscious, man. Even when we turn our backs on young cats, that problem is still there.
Yeah.
So I always try to say something to these just one of them cats.
That's it.
And if just one of them just listen, like, yeah, big man, what is
that's it?
What is power to people?
Yeah.
You know, what is epistemology?
Yeah.
What is this stuff you talk about?
Right.
I try to put it in their head, man.
Right.
But they can know, like, it ain't always fun and laughs, man. It always, you know what, and giggles.
Yeah.
This is a serious thing, man. They wiping us out. We wiping us
That's
out.
Right.
They trained us.
Yeah. That's right.
We are trained.
Yeah. Well,
still today, where I come from, it's segregated.
Man. So you know, planting seeds. Say plant seeds.
Plant seeds.
That's our job, and you know, I don't want for us to stay in that. We can't solve the world's problems in here on Tuesday night, but what we can try to do is help each other through the ones that we have, and then through that, be a blessing in the broader context. But I do believe, and I love what you said, and as I was listening to you, I was thinking about some of them guys in 180 that you keep coming in contact with when you're coming through there.
That's right.
And man, listen, like I'm trying to share with Herman, some of them young guys in Ashen House and 180 and Damascus Way, and you know, some of these young guys, man, that just don't get it yet, right? And they haven't aged into any understanding.
Progressive development.
Say maturation.
Maturation.
Yeah, there's something that comes to you if you just live long enough. It'll come over you. It will be time and experiences will collide to cause something new to take place in your mind.
What does that mean?
Maturation means to mature.
To mature.
And it's like it's a stasis.
So but many of it, you know, many of the things that we are describing have been us not fulfilling our real responsibility in the past. And then the chain reaction of that. We raising children, but the mom is really doing the work, and mom can't hold it all down, and the community's out there raising them and this and that. We really are a product, you know, of some of this stuff. So I never try to point the finger, you know, myself, you know, because I know I got a lot to blame, and I want to own my own responsibility. We are rougher on each other than anybody else is. It don't excuse nothing. It's just the truth, right? But now in here, it's different. And that's part of why we come together, because we find a peace that surpasses sometimes that thing that's taking place in the world. And we need a place where we can have that peace, where we can allow for a little while, just be still and think about how it's really supposed to go down. Now, you watch this, what I'm telling you. When you started to focus on creating a better life for yourself without looking to the left or to the right, all of a sudden, the drama that used to be your daily routine, that drama starts to fall off you like scales on a fish. Is it right or wrong?
Right.
And first, before you can save anybody else, you have to save yourself. I just came back from Portland. I went with my wife and family to visit our son, and for my daughter to visit the University of Oregon. And and you know, we mess around, man. And my daughters, they're smart girls, but when the lady comes on, Herman, to talk about airplane safety, My kids don't listen. They got on head. They already watching the movie, or they already locked into the other piece, the technology piece, right? And it dawned on me that these guys are relying on us as parents, and this is who we are. To y'all cover that. We don't really need to know. It's just if things don't go right, just go with dad. No, that ain't deep enough, though. That ain't deep enough. You got to get the information for yourself. I told my daughter, my 11-year-old, I said, hey, take them things off of there and listen to what this lady has got to say. And it dawned on me that every time I get on the plane, I have forgot a little bit. I done heard it a zillion times, but every time I get on, I know I forgot a little bit. And I say, well, let me just listen, And the lady, she said, well, she said, now do you have the two X's and they doing something? You have the two, there's three X's, there's two here, and there's one over here, and there's two laboratories, and they're doing their pointing, you know what I'm saying? Pointing, right? And sometimes a tape is playing. But the truth of the matter is, this is what's the most important thing. And then they'll pull out an oxygen mask. And the lady will pull it out and put it over her own face and then tighten it up. And then she'll say, just in case we experience any kind of loss of cabin pressure, be sure to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Why is this? Because if you're not getting any air for yourself, it could just be seconds before it's all over. And you have to first get oxygen on yourself, then reach over there for your children and begin to help them do what they need to do. Now, my point there is this. POP, this is our baseline. Say baseline. Baseline. We are trying to create men who are developed personally, who have put the mask on themselves personally. And we are trying to extrapolate from them leadership qualities and leadership abilities that allow them the opportunity to go into the world larger and plant seed. Right? Now watch this. And two things that are always happening in life, at least as long as life as we know it exists: seed time and harvest. Seed time and harvest. Now listen to this, Sal. Seed time and harvest. Seed time is not harvest. It's seed. This is where you're using your words. Say my words. Words. Yeah, the first step in the 8 steps of the good life. You're using your words correctly to speak abundant life over yourself, putting the oxygen mask on yourself first. Later, somebody say later. Later. Later, the seed becomes harvestable. You almost never get the harvest from the place you planted the seed. But if you plant the seed, something will grow and your harvest will materialize. Sometimes it's down the street, around the block, and 2 years later, but look, here it is. Amen. So let me tell you why I'm saying that. Huh? Let me tell you why I'm saying that right now. There's a lot of pain out there, and I get it. And I'm willing to support people. You understand? But it's not my first order of business, mine. I want you to understand this. My job is to attend to the flock I've been given. And I want them to be safe and free and on the right path. That is the first order of business. Other people will come with different agendas, and they could be right, good agendas. I could agree 100%, but it might not be just necessarily for me or even for you. We have to think about that and decide, what we support and what we don't support. Let me just tell you something. You can't support everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all who got phones, y'all got to put them down. This is not the phone talking place. You got time enough outside. Look right here. Plant that good seed. And the seed is you. And every single word that proceedeth out of your mouth is seed.
Mm.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't have control of your mouth and unconsciously you think you're doing good, but you're talking crazy, what you're doing is planting crazy seed. Later on, it won't be too long, what you're going to harvest is a crazy harvest. Loco weed. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. We to the young lady who Cassandra, wasn't it? Who was just here? Tashira. That's a nice lady, man. She's carrying some stuff. And so for those of us who are able to support that, and we're gonna email you the information, Sabathany right over here over south. But for those of us who we still new in our oxygen, our fresh air, don't try to fight that right now. You fighting the main fight. Put that oxygen mask on yourself. Is anybody getting that?
Yes.
And a lot of things are gonna come into your life, and sometimes they'll come like in some ways like it seem all right, but then drug you off your square.
Yeah.
You know what it's like when you get off your square?
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to, I just want you to understand what we have here at POP as a baseline for what we do, keeping you free, helping you stay grounded, right? And then we're going to do something. We have done things where we support as a group. Hey, look, we're going to have to do this. All hands on deck, right? And we've done that, right? And we're going to do it again, But we are also being thoughtful. Just want you to understand. We're being thoughtful about when we call all hands on deck. It's not every time. It's not about everything. It requires some thought and some conversation, right? That's not taking away nothing from what that sister is walking with. And Donald, that feedback you gave her was excellent, man, and right on time. And I really appreciated the way you said that to her. It brought her to tears, and it was tears of relief because she was being spoken to in a nourishing way.
Yes.
And it was nourishing her. And then that released that cleansing type. You get, and I appreciate that you were able to do that. And so we have another guest. And sister?
Sister Elena. She works with.
Come on, son. We can't hear what you're saying.
Say it with my chest then. This is Sister Elena. She does work with Hennepin County, specifically with GRH, and I know a lot of brothers in here in the group have, benefited from GRH or lack thereof. So I just thought it'd be beneficial for her to come to the group and share what she does. You're about to find out.
Right. And sister's name is Elena?
Alana.
All right, well, come on then. We give her a little hand.
So I had no idea what I was walking into.
Okay.
I didn't realize Tier tell me this room full of brothers.
Yeah.
I saw you this morning.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Wow. Man. Okay. Anyway, so it's amazing to me to see us in a room. Even us, but it's amazing to see us in one room.
Yeah.
One of the things I do is I work for a program called Start Today Hennepin, and we are a GRH housing support program. What GRH is group residential housing. How do you get it? I'm gonna be upfront and honest. Most brothers don't want to do it because you have to be in shelter to get this housing. You have to be assessed with the coordinated entry through the coordinated entry system. And you got to have a VS for that. I don't know how to explain really VS for that well, but it's basically another assessment that you have to have. Right?
It's like a vulnerability assessment.
And it's so what I will Tier and I was talking about yesterday. Like I don't understand why it's not all together in one form. I just don't get it because we get distracted and discouraged, and nobody wants to stay in shelter. I get that, right? Like nobody. Would you agree?
Yes.
When you're coming home from a stay in a institution, and it's like that, dang, I don't want to go get dropped off at 1010 Curry. I'm not trying to go stay at higher ground. And I also enlightened here about a DV shelter that takes men. Domestic violence. Yeah. Excuse me for the acronyms. So catch me if you will. But you can do that. Because men experience this stuff. We just don't want to talk about it because we're a man, right? So I don't feel intimidated by talking to you men, but I'm gonna talk to you. And give you what I have. Housing is not hard, but it's not easy either. And it's possible. And everybody deserves that another chance to get it. So that is one of the things I do. Is I go, let me just use my terms, hard in the paint. And I will go hard and work hard to get my people housed. We should not be housed. So I got resources coming out of my ears, and I'm willing to share them and give them, and I'm willing to voluntarily do that. Come back once a week, sit down, bring my laptop is nothing. And furniture is nothing. So the guy who founded Bridging is 90. How old is he? 94 years old. And this man wants everybody to have furniture. So once you get housed, I got my laptop. I'll come to you and make you an appointment because when you're coming out of homelessness, I don't need nothing. Just get you some furniture. And I can probably find an agency to help pay for it.
Pat, there's a chair in here. Come on in. You're good.
Okay. I don't know. So I can back good. Up.
You can back up.
You said something that fed me. We gotta plant the seed, and it's never too late to plant the seed.
That's right.
We have to be willing to share what we have and feed our people. We gotta give who's gonna take care of us better than us? We gotta take care of each other.
That's right.
And I usually speak to groups of women all the time, but they see a bunch of brothers in this room. It's like, whoa, it's amazing. This is amazing. So I don't know. I can open it up for questions. If you all want to ask things of me, I can try to answer them. I don't know. Let me tell you something else.
Go ahead, tell us now.
I have I just feel led to say this. I have a nonprofit. So I'm a 12-year cancer survivor. You don't know all of this. And I'm just going to break something down real quick. And this is for me to tell you that God can do anything for anybody all the time. Because I'm going to tell you something. In December 2007, I laid in the closet on my face. I had never done that. But I went before God because I wanted change. And I laid before him and I said, if you do this for me, and I was begging and pleading because I didn't know what I was doing, right? I just did something. But I wanted something different, period. And I went hard. And that was the end of the year, 2007. And I went to the doctor January 2008 and left with a lump. And then 2 days later left with a diagnosis. They told me stage 1, but it was stage 3, and it had spread. A chemo, aggressive chemo, and some more chemo that ended up damaging my heart, and some radiation. 225 pounds and bald headed. A job of 23 years in St. Paul Public Schools, I lost it. I was like, excuse me, like this is not what I asked for. Hello. I just told you I'm gonna give you everything. I'm gonna do all this stuff for you, but what I didn't know is that he was preparing you. He was preparing you, literally, like the top of Mr. Isaac's bull head. I was 225 pounds and bald headed. You hear me? I was clean and I was thick. I ate all the chicken and all the stuff during chemo. And then I went to radiation and it took me to another place. I was done. I was tired. But God kept holding me up. Holding me, carried me. And then he put me in a position to work in a place that I did not like. Took me out of my character. I stayed there for 2.5 years. I humbled myself. And then I went to the Salvation Army over north on Broadway in Linville, right over here. And worked for almost 7 years.
Wow.
And then the doors was busted open for Christmas. So now I have this nonprofit that I have started to help cancer patients, and not just women with breast cancer.
Wow.
I do cancer wide.
Wow.
And in January, our gas card program will roll out, and cancer patients going through chemo and or radiation of any kind will be able to get a gas card.
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
You gotta pour out to the people. And no matter what it looks like, sometimes we're the only smile, the only hug, the only handshake, the only pound some people will ever get. So we gotta give, and then like you guys are getting paid right here for real. Take this out and give it to somebody. Give it to somebody. When you need some more, come back and get poured into you. But give it out.
That's right.
Because this is amazing.
That's good.
Amazing.
Give us some love. So a couple things, and then we'll just open it up. Then we want you to stay for ice cream and cake because chicken, is the chicken down there? Go get that back. I didn't get my sons yet, so bring that. No, so look. Sister needs some chicken, you know.
I'm hungry as a house. I'm just saying.
And then there's some other things too, right? Or no? And then some fruit, and give her some fruit. But listen, this one, what I'm gonna say. GRH. Has anybody had GRH housing in this? Raise your hand. My sister right here. Get her sister some chicken.
I want to ask a question.
Go ahead. Sister, get you a plate.
And I already washed my hands.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
No, just the plate.
Here it is. Here go the plate.
Yes, please.
So who had the question?
There was, I think the guy in the back. You had a question for GRH, right?
No, I was just wondering what the GRH.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, group residential.
I have a question.
Housing.
Okay, just a minute now. Okay, go ahead. Group residential.
Group residential housing.
Okay. And so reason why I asked anybody who got GRH, because reason why I'm saying that is because it's so hard to get. You know, really, we should have a lot of people in here who have their hands raised. This is just my opinion. But we only have Sis got it right here. She had to go through the shelter thing and treatment. Treatment, and that's another door. And anybody else in here?
The room 25 shade is a door.
Is a door. Now, Mike Fox, what you in right now? Say what you doing.
Well, I just left the shelter today.
I just left
today. Okay. And I'm enrolled in center, a little They little program, a little 2-year program.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on him to get back with me probably like next week. I'll be seeing him.
Why'd you leave? Can I ask why you left?
They're taking the money hard, and they leaving me with like $30 to live off through a month. And the food they serve is basically 85% pork. And then my baby got a stomach virus probably like 2 weeks after he was there.
So he got his little daughter with him. She's how old now?
3.
Yeah, I encountered her in the hallway. She's like another whole soul.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything that GRH can do for a family, a male and his daughter?
Mm-hmm. You just have to be in shelter, which is the catch. You have to be in shelter.
Oh, I think. Wait a minute. Wait. Let's just because he's homeless right now. So I just want to stay right here for a minute and see. So hypothetically, let's say Mike and his daughter are back in shelter, and then they call you. What's going to happen?
No, what's going to happen? That if they're in shelter, they have to go through the housing team that's in the shelter. So there's you met with that person already, and then they do the assessment. They do all of that, and then the name goes into another pool of somebody. Now, I can go to my executive once I know he's had that and say, Sierra, where's this person at? And ask, all that she can say is, I don't know, or I don't see his name there. But he has to be in shelter. Now, I'm going to go a step further.
DeAndre got to leave.
I got to get him back.
Give DeAndre some love, y'all.
All right.
Did you get something?
Let me pick his pocket right quick.
Hey man, I love you especially. What's going on? How you doing? All right, man. I can't beat up on you like I used to.
Right.
All right, let's let them know later. So DeAndre, stay strong this week.
Yes, sir.
All right, you got it. Okay. Thank you, Donald.
All right, Amos.
Give Donald some love.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. So then he could do hypothetically. It's still you got to go through this process.
But now here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't like to admit domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
When there's DV or domestic of any kind, and he has a child,
Mm-hmm.
there's a shelter called Tubman that takes men
With children.
Mm-hmm. or single men.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just left the Tubman over south doing some stuff for them. This is what
you know
I tell
about
them.
Harry, right there on like off of Franklin or something.
Yep, but yeah, that one's over south. The one I'm talking about is in Maplewood.
Oh, okay.
It's in the old monastery.
Mm-hmm.
You go there, you knock on their door, they have to let you in. They have to take you in.
Mm-hmm.
Go with me when I say this. Me and my daughter just left domestic with her mama or my ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She put us out and we don't have nowhere to go. But we're not safe. They gotta take you.
Mm-hmm.
They have to make phone calls. And if they can't house you, then they have to put you somewhere. And they don't take your money.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna do when we're done is we're gonna go and we're gonna call. And then if they say they don't have no space, I'm gonna call and see who I got coming on tonight or something like that. It's a process. So you gotta keep calling. You gotta keep calling. You gotta show up. You gotta show up.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta keep your story domestic, and you don't have to lie, because there's somewhere down the line there gotta be something that you can pull up and keep it moving. It's cold outside.
Right. I feel
They're
that.
not gonna tell you too much and no.
Cal, jump in. You had something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was trying that, like you say, go to the shelter, try to get the housing. And,
Get that ice cream and the scoop.
At that time, I think it was going like 14 days or something. But I couldn't make it through because I had just come home, was trying to, stay out the riffraff. Because even in the shelter, people tried.
Oh, sure.
And by you being there, I had learned some new techniques, so I didn't have to worry about whether somebody was going to try me or not. But I just didn't like the atmosphere because I wasn't ready to go back to prison. So I had to take myself out of that situation. It was just, the VHR. Is that what you said?
GRH.
GRH. It seems like, they get you to a point where, like, even I had a caddy work. I had all this stuff that was supposed to go well for me till I had my surgery, and then that threw my whole thing off. I lost my caddy work. I lost all that stuff. But now I got my caddy worker back. So I might need some help, because what I want to do is I want to get stuff started, but I can't stay here no longer. I've been through a lot of stuff here. I've been here for over 40 years.
Okay.
I want to be able to, is there any way that they can help me transfer this stuff to where I want to go?
That's easy. Once you get to where you're going, you go to that county office. And they will do all of that. It's just like Minneapolis going to St. Paul, Hennepin County going to Ramsey County. You're just going to go to that county office, and they're going to have everything transferred.
So you down south, and then what? Do they do things different? Have you messed with them at all?
I talked to since I've been back, I only been back for a minute, but I talked to these people that's over my caddy worker stuff, and they say once I get things situated, because I had to wait to get everything back in order, that they will call down there and do some stuff. So I just wanted to know, because you in the field, they would be able to do that.
It should. Now the South moves a little slower.
I know.
It's a little different.
Somebody else, quick though. Go ahead.
There's a number of people that ask questions about GRH housing and to be placed in different houses, or could they, possibly find apartments through GRH. And the main question is asked is that, so if you have to go to a shelter, is there a grace period after you get in the shelter? Because I want to pass this information along, because a lot of people that I know that's on the GRH is asking these questions.
Okay, so once you're in shelter, right? Once you're in the shelter, and you have met with the housing person in the shelter, and you do your assessment.
Okay.
I hear two different things sometimes. Sometimes you can leave, as long as they can contact you.
Right.
You got to be in shelter the night before they call you. My suggestion is be still.
Right. Yeah.
In that shelter. And like, I hear what he's saying. It's hard.
Yeah.
They try you. But if you want to get housed,
you have to be
still.
Yeah.
And GRH will work.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop it. Yeah.
They like to keep you there. Everybody don't want to stay on GRH either.
Right.
That's what I.
No, that's.
This is what you want to do. You want to stay. You want to stay. If you want to move, we're gonna move. We're going to Minneapolis Public Housing. We're going to St. Paul Public Housing. We're going to Dakota County. Then we're going to go to all these other. Liberty Plaza got openings right now for efficiency.
Is there scattered GRH?
Scattered. Yeah, they're all scattered.
Yeah.
They're all scattered, and you got different landlords that'll work with you too. You know. Yeah.
Well,
thank you very much.
Well,
I hope that answers your question.
Somebody else jump in.
I got one question.
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry that I'm eating this.
That's all right.
I was with one of my mentees today. He has an existing place that he just got into.
Okay.
Is there any, and he needs the bridging. I gave him all the stuff, but I ain't gonna do it for him. But what I did hear in him today was that he's struggling with his rent for this month. Is there any programs for a person that can get some sort of assistance to help him while he's going through his Social Security thing and all of that
What is his what's his zip code?
He's in Columbia Heights, so I'm not sure.
Emergency assistance.
So the first thing you have to do, he's got to apply for emergency assistance. They can approve, deny, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's got to apply. Once he gets that denial, he can go to the Salvation Army in his area, in his zip code.
Hand this to my sister.
Most Salvation Armies have funding right now. And they're helping with rent.
Okay.
Most of them. I know Northside has it. And if you get with the right people at North Point, they have it.
Mm.
You got to be in the right county. You got to talk to the right people. But I'm a link for that. So
You have a card?
yeah, I do.
I would like to.
I think.
So what we, oh, go ahead, son.
You work at 1800.
1845.
1800 Chicago.
No.
Okay. Well, I did my GRH there through them, and they took their sweet precious time. Like the information was sent there, and they told who I was at that the information wasn't there.
Okay.
So I didn't know if you worked with them. So I was like, they just like dragged their foot, and I almost got put out because of that. So I was wondering.
So you already got housed in. So how our GRH program works?
Because just be more specific, because you're over there at
I'm at Miss
B's. You know
okay.
that.
Okay. So you're waiting to get housed.
Right. So he's.
So you got approved for GRH, and now you need
his own spot.
His assessment. So here's how that goes, right? You get like for us, I just saw an intake process today. So we got this guy and his girlfriend. They been in the shelter and it took him forever. And I heard him walking down the hall. It took us 6 months once they told us. Yeah, I was like, okay, it didn't take a whole 6 months. Maybe it did. I don't know. You come into the organization that's going to do your housing. We do a housing assessment. I mean, an actual assessment with us. And then we have a housing person and she goes and finds you somewhere to live. But the thing is, it depends on where your GRH is landed. If it didn't land in the Start Today Hennepin, there's like nothing we can do. It's called Start Today Hennepin.
Oh.
Is the name of our organization. Okay, yeah.
So anyway, sis, why don't you do me a favor, sit right here for a minute, and then this what I'm gonna have y'all do. If you know, because we're getting close to 8, we're gonna have ice cream and cake, and we're gonna turn y'all. We'll turn you off camera. And well, what we're gonna do though is if there's a way to. She's gonna stay. She got her car. If you need some information about GRH, it's good. I appreciate Tierra for bringing her on and just trying to help us. So just roughly though, most of us in here are we are ex-offenders. Been gone some for many years and some for just a coup 2, 3, 4 years. But this is our whole thing. Housing is a thing for us, and
it shouldn't be.
But it is, and so
right,
GRH hasn't always been our friend, in that way. So, what we do is maybe with an inside move, we can do better than we've been doing thus far. So, give her a hand for coming by here and giving us some love. We are here every Tuesday night. As long as the buses run. I mean, we've been at this for like 12 years or something like that. So we're going to be here. But I just want to take us back for a minute to the reason why we're having ice cream and cake, and that is because our good brother Herman Curry is home. He just got out yesterday. And we're so glad to have you, Herman, that you're on this side, and we got a good feeling that you're going to be able to start work here either tomorrow or the next day. So we'll make sure we're working on that. One question we have for you is, did you come out with any ID? That's what I'm talking about. So, and then with what he has, we can take him to get apply for his state ID because he got the birth certificate and the Social Security. You got state ID? Get that boy some love. Now, one more thing while we just have an ice cream and cake. You remember that Chinny here was talking to us about this $2,500. That's what we got the last time. We're probably about a little more than halfway through that money. You know what I mean? And he's saying there's a possibility for us to apply for it again. Do y'all feel we should do it or?
Yes, yeah.
So because we want Chinny and Chinny went on his own. He didn't say nothing to me. He went on his own to his people, and He brought them here, and they gave us a big one, them big fake checks, like this here. And man, that was beautiful, man, and that has been helpful to everybody. So, uh, Curtis, you gonna have ice cream and cake soon?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So what we do, Chenny, what we want you to know is that we would love for you to act as our advocate for this, and then anything that we need to put together here, you and I will talk about, and I'll. But give Chenny a hand for bringing that money on in.
Yeah.
A couple things that I haven't heard from, listen, this is one of the godfathers right here. Curtis, we haven't heard from him. He's been gone for a minute, and we need for Curtis to quick check in.
All right. First, let me talk about this reading here. As you all might know, Jay-Z is worth $1 billion, right?
Okay.
And like him and Mike and all the rest of the millionaires, somehow or another they cannot find their way down here in the ghetto where we are. You understand? Now they can go all other places around the world and they can give to any other fund there is, but they can't build a daycare down here or anything else. But I'm not just going at them. I mean, the Vikings ain't built one either.
Yeah, right.
So the point I'm making is that if I was worth $1 billion and I couldn't do anything with it, like he can't, for the community, hell, I might as well just have 100. I mean, so all the hoopla about the abundance of money I got, yeah, but it's worthless. I mean, I'm okay. I can't eat number one chicken at a time.
That's right.
You understand? Got one. So I could have, I could have the best steaks or whatever, but there's what you may call a moral imperative in me to help those who are not able.
Yes. Yes.
And if I can't do that, I don't feel too good about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So when they talk about abundance, what I do have abundance of, I have an abundance of desire to do well.
That's good.
Okay, and every so often I get a chance to do something, and our young brothers, they don't understand the fact that they are like most of the country. They are systematically retarded, and the system purposely did this, right? All right, and that don't mean you crazy. It means you slow to catch on what's happening. Now when I was a young man, they had some brothers, and they were giants in my eyesight, and they opened up these storefronts called topographical centers, and we went in there, and them brothers just showed us where we was, why we was, who we was, and how we was, right? And I mean, they did it so masterfully. When we left out of there, we had to change the opinion. Well, this brother today, he's got more at him than we had then. The drugs is beating up on their brain. In fact, they're not trying to let them come back from it. Whatever it is, it's going to break their brain.
That's it.
So we need more patience with that. And like you say, plant the seed.
Yes, sir.
The first seed they got to have is to know that you are not thinking clearly. You do not have the facts.
Wow.
You can't make a lie out of science, right? And this is something that the media constantly tell them they can do. He gives them this idea they can be something. And that's a dangerous thing when you don't have your identity. Because if you ain't got your identity, I can tell you anything. You can be a horse, I convince you an elephant. And you can't do anything about that.
Right.
So they need that. That identity has to come out of the house. You can't get that out of school.
Well, let me grab him right there. Give him a little hand right there. Yeah, that's good. Hey, listen, this make me think of one of our pop sons has had a son, Richard McLemore. Richard McLemore's baby's mother. The baby was struggling. This was just the other day, and in the womb, they had to take the baby and bring the baby on early. So it's a good 2 months early. But the baby is surviving. He's thriving. He's breathing on his own now, and it's a beautiful thing. And what made me think of him of that, we should have called Richard tonight as a group. Um, if you look on my desk, you see my phone. I think we could still call him now. Um, uh, what's important about that is what Curtis was just saying about getting love from. That's what he's talking about. Love, getting the right kind of love from the home. Yeah, it starts in the home. Um, Doug right here, Dougie Fresh, is went back to his daughter Lily, and she she adores her father, even though he had stayed gone for a while. But Doug is home now, and Doug and Lily they're having a love and a relationship that's so beautiful. It's changing them both. She's becoming so much better than she was going to be, and Doug is becoming so much better than he was because the love is in the home. This is what Curtis is talking about right here. And I just quick want us to call Richard McLemore as a group because, he's manning the hospital and everything because of, because the baby's condition. And let me see, can I get him on the phone? We're going to go pop down 3. Let's see. He told me, Pop, you got to come see my son, but you got to have a flu shot. I said, okay, whatever I need.
Hello, this is Richard at McLemore Holdings for excellent in housing education
What's that, Pop
guides. I am deeply sorry I missed your call. Please leave your name, phone number, and a brief narrative of your business, and I will be sure to return your call at my earliest convenience. Thank you. Have an amazing day.
That's right.
1, 2, 3. Podcast! Hey man, we just calling you because we love you, boy, and we know that you was one Macklemore, but now you are 3, and so we love that, and we thinking about you over here at group, even though we eating up all this chicken and ice cream and cake without you, and so you hurry up and bring your boy too, and we can get him that kind of chicken in the jar. We love you, Papa Macklemore. We want you to keep fighting for yourself and for your son and for your future wife. Pop guy on 3, 1, 2, 3. Pop guy. All right, boy. We'll see you soon. Yeah. That's right. That's beautiful. To send your message, press 1 at any time. All right, we heard that. All right. So look, we don't have to. Go ahead, son. You got something? Oh, we get us. So I'm glad, man. I'm glad to see everybody tonight. Doug, you all right? Anything you want to report? You sure? You sure?
I'm good.
You good?
Let me just add on what you said
Go ahead.
with Lily.
Yeah.
Reunited with Lily. I have 2 older daughters too, but they're on their own and they're doing good, out of school and everything. But Lily, when I was gone on vacation, if you will,
You grab me that pledge.
she struggled a lot.
From Wayne. Mm-hmm.
School, just socially, mentally, and when I came home, I just back up a little bit. She lives with her grandma. I live in the pop house. I didn't have a vehicle. And my time with her was limited and cherished. And every chance I got, I went and seen her. And her grandma told me that since I've been back, that she's happier. She feels loved. She feels like she's in a family again. And it just ripped my heart out to hear that. But at the same time, it's so gratifying for me to know that I'm making that kind of an impact on her life.
That's right.
And she doesn't know the impact that it's on my life.
Right.
And it kind of goes together.
That's right.
When I'm with her or whatever I do, it makes me think of
anything that I might do that's a little suspect or something, I think of her first.
Yeah.
Anything that my behavior is going to affect our relationship and her life, and that it's a big thing. It's comes full circle, you know, with me and her, and so it's not only I that I live for, but I gotta make me good before I can make her good.
Come on. All right. Yeah, I'm coming to you. So watch this. What Doug was talking about was his consciousness has elevated now. And he not only thinking for himself, but thinking about his child. That's a beautiful thing. And Doug is being a good father. I love what you're doing. And speaking of that, I just want to tell y'all, man, Patrick just last weekend got the chance to travel down south to see his son, who he hadn't seen, I believe, in 26 years.
Whoa.
And I just want to give Patrick a few minutes to tell us just briefly about how that went for him. Give him a hand. Oh, you done brought some evidence?
All right. I mean, we got a chance to say.
Okay, Jay. Okay.
But
give Jay a hand. We love it.
Love
you, man.
Personal invitation from Tom Lundquist. He would like you to come back in and speak to the man at 908.
Tell him I do it.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you a call.
All right.
Take care.
But yeah, my name is Patrick Nunn Bay, and you know, I had been on ISR pretty much ever since I had got out of prison.
Which is how long ago?
In 2008. And you know, I really had to stay the course and do everything, you know, that was needed to do of me, because being on ISR kept me away from my family. You know, I don't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, everything, how it went and whatever, but God has blessed me now that I'm able to be back in my children's lives. I had mentioned to Pop, you know, that I was getting on a plane. I had only been on a plane one time, and that was when I was being expedited. So that wasn't by choice. So this time, you know, I got a chance to, you know, book my own flight, book my own, you know, hotels to go see, you know, my son. And seeing my son, I mean, we've been in touch with each other, talking over the phone, but there's nothing like being able to hold your child.
Right.
You know,
Wow.
he's 28 years old, but that's still my boy. I still want to hold my boy. You know, and you know, I really enjoy being there with them and not having, you know what I'm saying, to worry about, oh, I got to call my PO, I got to, you know what I'm saying, check in, I got to do all of this. So that whole experience just, and spending time with my granddaughters, man, that was the best thing ever, because for the simple fact, this is what I had been missing out on because of my, you know, bad decision and poor decision making in my life. So I really, really, really appreciated spending time with them. And this me and my son and my granddaughters. My son had brought him to the airport, you know what I'm saying, with him. And although, you know, he had to drop one of them off, the oldest one, you know, he still wanted to be considerate and bring them there. That was my first time seeing them.
He's a little mini Pat.
So, and you know,
look at mini me. That's it. That's him.
I'm so proud of my son because that's the one that's going to school.
Wow. He going to school to be a doctor. Come on now.
I'm gonna be honest. The man that he is isn't because I had anything to do with it. It's because of his mom raising him, taking him from the ghetto. We from Gary, you know, and taking him to another spot. He was raised in Denver, Colorado, pretty much. You know, my son, he sounds so proper. When I'm talking to him, I'm like, okay. But I can't be, you know, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But the man that he isn't because of me. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I tell him all the time, I wish I was half the man that you were.
Wow.
He ain't never missed a day with his children. He ain't never missed, you know what I'm saying? Even though him and the mom's not together, he ain't never missed a child support payment. He got his own, they buying their own house now. So I tell him all the time, humbly, I wish I was half the man that you were.
Right. Wow. Woo, you pop guys are something else. I'm gonna tell you though, just so you know, Patrick right here is a brilliant man. Now he didn't actualize the totality of his natural brilliance, but he did pass the seed.
That's right.
And see, and then if you pass the seed and keep it moving, later on it'll be harvest time. Somebody say harvest time.
Harvest time.
Yeah. Yeah, come on, let's get out of here. We got to get out of here. 8 o'clock is the group is the new time. Yeah. 8 o'clock. Yeah, we couldn't get out of here quick enough. Come on, let's do that. Let's do that. Come on, son, you're moving too slow. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're moving slow. Come on. Come on, let's pledge out. Anybody else?
Yeah, we got some.
I just had to get this share.
Okay. Come on, real quick. Come get in the circle. Straight up. Come on in the play. Come on in. Straight up, come on over here with me. We're gonna do the pledge. Y'all, this is administration right here. Come on, you gotta put your arm around it. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? I will balance my family values. With my goals. I will exercise wisdom. What I choose to eat. Read and do. I will strive to make all relationships win-win, no deal. Win-win, no deal. I will under every circumstance maintain a positive attitude. Because I am somebody. I will enjoy my life with a sense of humor. While taking advantage of my opportunities. And learning from my misfortunes. I will act upon circumstances rather than have them act upon me. I will on a daily basis be proactive with my goals. That means I have to have goals. I will always protect my wisdom, my health, and my happiness. Just remember, time means nothing. Without goals. I will stay principle-centered and maintain a positive circle of influence. I will daily learn. Commit. I am committed. And do what I need to do. I will act according to the POP Leadership Institute. And be productive in my community. And my private life. Because I am. Somebody. All right, now give somebody a hug and let's clean up this table.